Hey yo, what up? What up? It's Lamech with Selah Sports TV back at it again. Cheer. Well, this LeBron James, LA Lakers, Bronny James, this saga, it's been pretty fascinating. Everything that comes out. I still don't think people have really uh taken the time to really look at what's happened over the last few months here with this franchise. And concerning LeBron James, his son, right, the Lakers front office. Uh, it's been really fascinating. Everything that they've done, like behind the scenes, and the conversation that must have been had off camera. Just think about that, like all the things that were put in place. You got your team. You're on a team, right? You're claiming to be fighting for a playoff berth, right, or playoff success, right? You're in playoff series. You're going up against at that time the defending world champion Denver Nuggets, right? You're doing all of this stuff, but then right in the middle of it, you start a podcast with JJ Redick, right? You start a podcast with JJ Redick just so that at the end of the season you saw LeBron, he's been strictly hands off. Like, who really believes that? So the guy you started a podcast with no coaching experience, he just only experience he got is talking shit with you on camera. But he ends up that's the very guy that ends up being the coach of the team that you're playing on. Very interesting. Very interesting. Um, One thing about this channel, one thing about me in particular, and it's not me toot my own horn, pause, not anything like that, because trust me, like it's not even really a benefit most times. Most times this thing is a huge detriment. But seeing things happen before they happen and calling shit out before it happens, yeah, that's something I've always been good at, right? And because of that, it's gonna have you on a few bad lists out here, right? When you're calling shit out before it happens, you're gonna piss people off. You're gonna piss a certain type of person off, right? Narcissists, people who have ulterior motives and shit like that. When you're calling shit out before they get to before they get to spring the trap on people, so to speak, you're gonna end up on a few bad lists, right? You're gonna end up being not being friends with a few people because like say it all the time. Your best One of your best traits in war is the element of surprise. So if you got somebody around you who's calling out bullshit like that, you can't surprise them, right? So it makes it a little bit more uncomfortable for them to be around. With all that said, yeah, like this is gonna be pretty unbearable to watch for most true Laker fans. I guess what I'm really if I had to admit to being salty about something, what I'm salty about is this cocksucker went from franchise to franchise. He started with Cleveland, went to Miami, went back to Cleveland, right? Finally, won a championship in Cleveland. You know, but somewhere along the line, it was so important to him to go to the LA Lakers. And this is where he's gonna end up playing the most, which is very interesting. Like when it's all said and done, he might end up having played more seasons in LA than anywhere else, which has also been where I would say his legacy took a real hit. Now, a lot of people are going to point to the numbers and point to this thing with, having the chance to play with his son and, breaking these scoring records. And he did it. Yes, he did that in Lakers uniform. Absolutely, he did. But When you talk to the average basketball fan, when you talk to Laker fans, when you listen to how people cover the game, cover him, when you listen to it, it's nothing excellent that you can point to in this LA Laker run. Nothing. Yes, he had the bubble championship, but nobody 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 counts that. The Lakers didn't even count it. That's why like 2 seasons later they were firing the coach, Frank Vogel. Right? If that title was legit, they would have never fired that coach 2 seasons after he won it. Lakers and Laker fans value championships. The reason why they were able to do that to that coach is because nobody valued it. And they knew that. They knew that. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We're already seeing the workings of this, and it's pretty disgusting to watch if you ask me. Like it feels like we're not watching sports anymore. It legit feels like we're not watching. We're no longer. This isn't a sporting event. This isn't may the best man win. This isn't that. This feels like something choreographed, something staged, right? We're just waiting to see how. What's entertaining about this is watching how the lengths that these people will go, and it's like, why? You had a good product that succeeded off of men competing against each other. Why would you want to change it? It just seems like more work to choreograph these things than it is to just let things play out. I get it. Like, and this is me saying this. The NBA is coming off of a season where the NBA finals didn't get really good ratings, right? The NBA finals got bad ratings in comparison to other finals. Well, you know why? It's because you guys don't publicize the game. You don't market the game the way it should be. You market a few players. And if those players don't make it, then you're going to call it a whack final series. Right? If LeBron isn't there, if Kevin Durant, if Steph Curry, these few names that you prop up, if they're not there, then you're going to call it a whack series. If Minnesota would have made it to the finals, right, to play Boston, you still would have called it a whack series. If Minnesota would have played Indiana in the finals, it would have been a terrible series then, right? Because the game hasn't been marketed properly. That's it. Like, you got this guy Adam Silver, man. He's a real piece of work, bro. Adam Silver is a real piece of work. I want to know what his job is. Like, if he just comes in and hands everything over to LeBron James, why do they need him as a commissioner? I would say the same for the Lakers management, front office. Like, if LeBron's calling all the shots, whatever LeBron says, whatever coach he wants, whatever the players, the drafted players, like, if somebody's on the team, LeBron want them traded, then they get traded. If that's the case, and it definitely is the case, why do we need Rob Pelinka? What's the purpose of Linda, Kurt Rambis? Like, what's the purpose of the management if you really just giving all the control to one player? I don't get it. And I'm speaking in terms of business. I'm not even talking in terms of fanboy shit. Like, there's no changing you guys' minds. I know that. But just watching everybody, like, this kid's been drafted, and you know what? I'm gonna stop calling him a kid because now you're in a man's world, right? You're in there competing against grown men. Nobody's gonna take it easy on you. You're competing against grown men who had to work and do everything the hard way. This is why I don't understand what LeBron James was doing. When you force your son into this position, do you realize what you've done? Right now, he's a little fucking minnow swimming along in a pool full of sharks. These guys have worked so hard to try to get where they are and earn a roster spot. And they got to compete against this guy who hasn't done any of that. He hasn't worked hard a day in his career, and his game proves it. Yeah, I'm taking it there. His game proves that he hasn't worked hard. He thought that he was just going to waltz into the NBA. You know what? He thought right. There's no way anybody can expect great things from Bronny James. Like, where would he come from? He hasn't faced it. His daddy got him on an NBA team. And people are so stupid. They say, well, it's just nepotism. Why? Nepotism, like, nepotism always been around in America. Now, people so fucking stupid, you don't even see what happened. They use LeBron James, right? They're dangling LeBron James in front of you to get you to come out of your fucking face, come out of your mouth, and defend nepotism. That's what they're getting you to do. Now you're on record. A bunch of you cocksuckers are on record with your broke ass defending this motherfucker using nepotism. See, you can't have it one way. You can't just have it by that. I guess what I'm really saying is you can't have it both ways. What do I mean by that? You can't be for nepotism here, but then against nepotism when somebody that you don't like is using it. Right? You can't have it both ways. You got to stand on principle. Y'all talk a lot of shit, but a lot of you motherfuckers have no idea what you're talking. You don't know how to stand on business. Standing on business ain't about people. Standing on business means, look, I don't give a fuck who it is. Nepotism is wrong. That's how you stand on business. Because business don't care who the person is. Business don't care who the person is. If I'm selling a product and I got a price, look, it don't matter who it is, who I'm selling to. This is the price. Sure, I have the option to drop 10%, 20%, whatever. Take 50% off. If it makes sense on another if it makes sense somewhere else in the business, I'll say that. Like, you do this and I'll take 50% off. Something like that, yeah. But otherwise, my price is my price. And even then, even you taking a percentage off, that's still your price. You decided to take a percentage off of your price. You're not lowering the fucking price. Do you understand that? But it's like, now we got a bunch of people who are openly supporting nepotism. Right? The same people who were against nepotism just 5, 10, 20 years ago? You couldn't find none of these motherfuckers saying, yeah, there's nothing wrong with nepotism. That would have been absurd to even say. But now, because LeBron James is in position, that's all it took was a guy. This is why I made the idolatry video. When you tether yourselves to these athletes and you say whatever they do is fine, even nepotism, even this thing, even that thing, doesn't matter what it is, you're a fanboy and a weirdo. And a fucking weirdo. So they got little Bronny on the team. Now the next thing is, how do we get this kid through summer league? Right? Because here's the thing. The kid has never done anything remotely dominant on the basketball court. Never. Like he's been handed everything. Even in high school, he was never that guy in high school. He was never the best player on his high school team. He was never not even close to the best player on his college team. And now he's in the NBA. So what is he supposed to learn along the road? Is he supposed to learn? Where's he supposed to learn hard work from? Where is he supposed to learn that from? It's unbelievable. And what you're really doing is keeping him away from his true purpose, which clearly ain't to play basketball on a professional level. Everybody knows that that's not what he's supposed to be doing. He knows that's not what he's supposed to be doing. This is my problem with Bronny. And I'm talking about Bronny. I ain't even talking about LeBron James. I'm talking about this kid, this guy. This is my problem because, like I said, you know what you're doing at this point. You know that you're not good enough, but you're still there. So you're going to have to deal with the worst kind of trash talk. A lot of them guys ain't going to give a fuck who your daddy is. They're going to go at you. They're going to go at your neck. They're going to talk the worst shit to you because you legit don't deserve to be there. Look, Kobe Bryant, people talk shit to Kobe Bryant just because his dad was in the NBA. His dad had played in the NBA, and at a certain point, it was time for Kobe Bryant to go, and try his hand at the NBA. But Kobe Bryant apparently knew that and he actually worked on his game to a level where when you think about Kobe, you don't even think about his dad. You forgot all about Jelly Bean Bryant, right? Nobody thinks about his dad. Whenever you see this kid from where his game is, you're always going to think and know that he's only there because of his dad. It's the reverse Kobe. It's the reverse. So we're going to watch how the Lakers find a way to get him on the court, right? Find a way to keep him off the court, because the more we see him play, the more everyone will see that he don't deserve it. He shouldn't be there. He's not ready for the NBA. So if they give him a bunch of time on the court to play, one or two things are going to happen. Either he's going to go out there and ball out, which we haven't seen him do yet. I'm talking about he's going to go out there and just be like buckets everywhere he goes, dropping buckets and not getting the ball taken from him, right? He's going to be able to guard his position as a 6'1", 6'2" guard, right? We're going to have to watch all of this. We're going to have to see this. It ain't that much Hollywood production in the world. They're going to have to find a way to get him, make him look good while he doesn't get many minutes. Because if he gets a lot of minutes, he will get exposed by these players. These real NBA players. And then they're going to have to try to find a way to get him on the team. This is pretty fascinating. Pretty fascinating stuff. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, if you like the video, bang off on that like button one time. Peace.